I'm the Fox and this is Formula 1 2020. And first we're going to crack on with two bits of news for Formula 1. Firstly, it's the release of the Keep Fighting Foundation DLC. And the second is the update 1.06. Keep Fighting Foundation is a non-profit initiative that uses Michael Schumacher's drive and resilience as the core aspects and inspiration, supporting and developing projects alongside charities. Keep fighting, never give up. Two strong messages we all at some point needed in our lives, and even more so now in 2020, as we almost stand against COVID-19 and racism. If you wish to learn more about Keep Fighting Foundation, I'll leave a link in the description. But for now, let's have a look at what we get in the DLC. We get a new logo, car livery, podium emote, helmet, gloves and suit. And our proceeds go to the Keep Fighting Foundation. Update 1.06, Codemaster releases the black livery for Mercedes, changing the looks of the cars and the drivers' race suits. Perez and Stroll wear correct gloves, fixes the progression issues in my teams after an invitational event and at the end of the season, and the sponsorship Savant pays out correctly, and various other bugs are fixed too. Now before we head to Austria, I am going to swap out some of the warm parts of the engine. So the ICE is being swapped, the MGU-K is going to be swapped, and so is the turbocharger. And I was thinking about the heat, the MGU-H, but it seemed pretty good to go for one more round, and then I'll switch it for Silverstone. But on to Austria. Alright, here we are on board for the first lap of Q1 as we're starting our climb here into turn 1, which is a bottleneck. Can't force it on a drive, let's come together, uncheck that escape route on the left hand side, coming into the DRS zone 1, turning uphill. Turn 2 is somewhere there, turn 3 is definitely there. To brake hard and try to get as much of the inside curve, going wide, getting as much grip and power it down, DRS zone 2 and along the back straight. As we now set ourselves up for turn 4, which we saw Hamilton and Albon come together in the first round of the Austrian Grand Prix. And then turn 5, and here's turn 6 as it sweeps down left over the curb, taking as much of it there at turn 7 as we powered out, ride the curve along turn 8 and over the hill, and setting ourselves up for a nice flick at 9. Make sure not to run too wide, and then in again, turn 10, and parting out, last year this zone, onto the pit straight, and that's a lap of Austria. So a bit of news from IRL is that I got a new job, so it's going to be very hard to actually get videos pumping out. But on the upside is that I am going to be replacing my capture card, which is A1. I can't wait for it. Hopefully it's going to stop all this this stuttering that we've all seen in my last videos that I said I was going to keep in, but I'm like, nah, you all don't want to see that at all. So here's hoping that the new capture card will behave itself, and the only stuttering that will be around will be from me. So I gotta leave this run out for all you ASM. Oh, I missed the gravel. No matter. I'll give the next go of Q3. I gotta run it out and just give it to all you ASMR fans out there. Hope you enjoy.
all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. The grandstands were a sea of red in 2019 thanks to the commemorative hats in honour of the late great Niki Lauda, who took home victory of course back in '94. And it's a sellout crowd once again here today. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Alexander Albon and Perez, Sainz, Green, Ricciardo and Lance Stroll. Hamilton, they've taken a grid penalty. Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi and Magnussen, Kvyat, Grosjean, George Russell and Pierre Gasly, Ocon, Raikkonen, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
It's 1 light, it's 2 lights, it's 3 lights, it's 4, it's 5. Blink and you'll miss it. We are racing in Austria. We get a great start off the line. Here behind Perez, going up to turn 1. Sainz is behind me on the left hand side. 2 by 2, just like Noah's Ark. Sainz gets a great exit on the turn 1. Leaves me sitting. Someone else is on my left hand side. Who could that be? It's Hamilton, who suffered a good pace penalty. And we brake hard here into turn 3. And who brakes even harder is Denny Rick. Cutting the corner, but getting the place away from myself and Hamilton. Let it back straight, side by side. Is myself and Hamilton. Hamilton just pulls away in that Mercedes powered car. Do I have it going along the outside? No, I don't. I'm out of place. I can't keep up. And still, we're on hot pursuit here, as we are on a different strategy. We are going softs, mediums, then back on softs again. At lap 10 and 25 respectively. And we'll see how that strategy plays out. Here we are, lap 3, DRS is now enabled. Sainz and Hamilton up ahead, fighting out for 7th place. I join the pack, I get DRS now, we follow. And it's a 3-way battle for 7th place. Hamilton on the outside, I go down the inside. Sainz closes the door on me, I tap Hamilton, nothing happens, and the places stay the same, but who's that inside? It's Leclerc. Charles is out of the running, and that gives all of us an extra place. Here we go, pulling the trigger on my first round of pit stops, where we're going switching on to the medium tyre, and then using that tyre to reach to the end of lap 25 and be back on the soft tyre, and hopefully we're fast enough at this tyre to offset the 20 or so seconds
go.
per pit.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Okay, we're on lap 19 coming into turn 1, and after the first round of pit stops I'm sitting in 9th, So I'm kind of wondering, have I made the right
We've
decision?
lost one of the gears. The transmission is significantly damaged. We're down a gear.
Okay. As I just found out there, going into turn 3, I've lost 4th gear. So I will have to compensate by going high on gear on the 3rd gear and going low and maybe powered up 5th gear with help of ours. So yeah, I think the faster tyre now is definitely a solid move. And there's Grosjean out in sector 2. Final round of pit stops here, where I'm going to switch from the mediums to the softs. Hopefully be very quick to minimise the damage done by a second stop. And maybe if I'm lucky, maybe get a fastest lap around here. And just steal away.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
As I said, maybe we might try and snatch away a points finish, a point from the fastest lap as well.
Fuel target is +1. Faster engine modes are available.
And that is all I needed to hear. And here we go. Head down for the last 11 laps, or the last 10 laps. Here we go now, DRS zone, following George Russell in the Williams. As you come to turn 3, we go on the outside, brake hard, and he keeps to the inside. As we head out wide, we power out. Maybe we should be giving that place back, who knows. But we're powered out, nothing's been sent to us. And we target Kvyat, who's up the road as well. And here we go, coming along the pit straight, we've caught up to Kvyat and Magnussen. As we come up to turn 1, and we're going side by side, 3 abreast, coming up to turn 1. As we powered out DRS. And that's 2 places made up.
This is your final lap of the race.
There you have it, folks. It's the fight for 13th place between myself and Landon Norris. It's the last lap. And I'm catching up to him with the 8 of DRS. As you brake hard for turn 3, I'm too far back. I can't overtake him with that distance. I hang on to the back of him in the second DRS zone. Coming up to turn 4. But I'm still too far back. Cannot make a move on him. So I sit on his gearbox and let him pull me along turn 5. And then I decide, okay, we go for turn 6, which was a very aggressive move and took apart my front wing. And it's now open the door for Gasly to hunt me down as well in the last 2 corners of the Austrian Grand Prix. So I get the flick to turn 9, very long. Gasly's on my hole. He backs off, turn 10, and I secure 13th place for this race.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here at Austria. And a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Yeah, and next time we will be in Silverstone. So I'll leave you now with the race highlights. I've been Fox and you're amazing.